What mysteries and dramas lie hidden within the tomb of Prince Mustafa, the cherished son of Suleiman the Magnificent? How did his path transform from that of a perfect successor to a victim of palace conspiracies? Was his execution an unavoidable political maneuver, or the result of a plot orchestrated by Hürrem Sultan and Rüstem Pasha? What impact did his death have on the stability of the Ottoman Empire and the reign of Suleiman? How has Mustafa's tomb become a symbol of betrayal, honor, and the darkest side of Ottoman power? What inscriptions, relics, and architectural details reveal clues about his tragic end? How does his story, centuries after his execution, continue to move those who visit his final resting place in Turkey? Hello and welcome to Imperium. In this video, we will delve into the tomb of Prince Mustafa, unraveling the mysteries of his life, his execution, and the mark he left on the history of the Ottoman Empire. Prepare to immerse yourself in a story of betrayal, ambition, and tragedy in the heart of Turkey. Mustafa was born in the year 1515, at a time when his father was still a young sultan with vast ambitions of conquest. He was the firstborn son of Suleiman and his first consort, Hürrem Sultan. From a young age, he was trained in military strategy, politics, and the administration of the empire. The Janissaries, the empire's elite military corps, saw him as the ideal heir due to his courage and leadership. His charisma and skills made him the natural candidate to succeed his father on the throne. Everything indicated that Mustafa would become the next Ottoman Sultan, but destiny had other plans. Following Ottoman tradition, Mustafa was sent to govern provinces to prepare for the throne. At just 9 years old, he was sent to Manisa, one of the key cities where princes trained to rule. Later, he also administered the provinces of Amasya and Konya, proving his talent as a leader. His administration was effective, earning him the respect of Ottoman governors and generals. A growing number of people at court saw him as Suleiman's natural successor. Mustafa possessed all the qualities of a great sultan, but his success ignited jealousy and created enemies within the palace. The rise of Mustafa sparked fear in certain circles of the Ottoman court. He had the support of viziers and military leaders, which made him a dangerous rival to other princes. Hürrem Sultan, Suleiman's second wife, wanted to secure the throne for her own sons, which led her to see him as a threat. Rüstem Pasha, the Grand Vizier and husband of Hürrem's daughter, Hürrem Sultan, also believed that Mustafa had to be eliminated. The fear of Mustafa's growing power led to the creation of a conspiracy against him. From being the favorite heir, Mustafa came to be seen as a danger to the interests of Hürrem and Rüstem Pasha's faction. Mustafa's influence was growing dangerously, and Hürrem Sultan's faction saw him as a threat to her own children. Hürrem Sultan, Suleiman's second wife, wanted to secure the throne for her son Selim instead of Mustafa. Rüstem Pasha, husband of Hürrem Sultan and an influential Grand Vizier, was a key ally in the conspiracy against Mustafa. Mustafa's power within the army and his support among the Janissaries made him a formidable rival. Both knew that if Mustafa ascended to the throne, their own lives and those of Hürrem's children would be in danger. Hürrem and Rüstem Pasha decided to act before it was too late. To eliminate Mustafa, his enemies needed to convince Suleiman that his son was plotting to overthrow him. Rüstem Pasha forged letters in which Mustafa supposedly conspired with the Persian Safavid Empire to take the throne. These letters were presented to Suleiman as proof of treason. The Sultan, now aging and distrustful, began to believe that his own son might be plotting against him. Hürrem and Rüstem reinforced the idea that Mustafa would not wait patiently for the succession, but would take the throne by force. Convinced that his son was a traitor, Suleiman made the most difficult decision of his life. On October 6, 1553, during a military campaign in Eregli, Mustafa was summoned to his father's tent, suspecting nothing of what awaited him. Upon entering the imperial tent, Mustafa saw that the Sultan's executioners, the feared Bostanji, were ready to execute him. He defended himself bravely, fighting against his attackers, but was ultimately strangled with a silk cord, the traditional Ottoman method of execution for princes. The Janissaries, who adored Mustafa, erupted in fury upon learning of his death, and even refused to accept any other heir for a time. Suleiman, after the execution, supposedly wept for the death of his son, but it was too late to reverse his decision. The empire lost its best heir in one of the most tragic and controversial decisions of Suleiman's reign. After his unjust execution, Prince Mustafa's body was transported to the city of Bursa, the resting place of many members of the Ottoman dynasty. Despite being betrayed by his own father, his tomb became a symbol of loyalty, injustice, and the tragedy of an heir who never reached the throne. What is Mustafa's tomb like? And what does it represent for the history of the Ottoman Empire? Mustafa's mausoleum is located in the Muradai Mosque complex in Bursa, a historic site of great importance. Bursa was the first capital of the Ottoman Empire, and many princes and sultans were buried there. The Muradai complex houses the mausoleums of several members of the dynasty, making it a sacred place. Mustafa's tomb is one of the most visited due to the tragic story that surrounds it. Even centuries after his death, Mustafa is still remembered as the prince who should have been sultan. Despite the way he died, Mustafa's tomb was built with respect and honor. The mausoleum has a traditional Ottoman design, with a decorated dome and Islamic calligraphy that highlights its importance. The inscriptions on the tomb emphasize his bravery and the sadness of his premature death. The interior is decorated with Iznik tiles, a characteristic art of the Ottoman era. Although he never became sultan, his tomb has an air of dignity and respect, reflecting what his reign could have been. His tomb is not just a resting place but a testament to what the Ottoman Empire lost with his death. Over the centuries, Mustafa's tomb has become a place of reflection for Turks and visitors. Many historians believe that Mustafa would have been a great sultan, and his tomb represents a lost opportunity for the empire. Each year, people visit his mausoleum to pay homage and remember his tragic fate. Unlike other executed princes, Mustafa is remembered with respect and nostalgia. The mausoleum still stands as a reminder of the power struggles in the Ottoman court. His tomb is more than just a monument. It is a symbol of injustice and of what the Ottoman Empire could have been. More than 450 years after his tragic execution, Prince Mustafa's tomb continues to be a site of deep historical reflection and a symbol of injustice within the Ottoman Empire. His legacy is not only in the historical records but in the collective memory of Turkey and the world. How is Mustafa's tomb viewed today? And what does it represent for Turks and historians? Mustafa's tomb is not just the resting place of an Ottoman prince, but a symbol of betrayal and unchecked ambition. It represents the cost of political intrigues within the harem and the Ottoman court. Many historians consider him the greatest victim of the power struggle between Hürrem Sultan and Mahidevran. For many Turks, his tomb is a reminder of how cruel politics could be within the Ottoman Empire. Visitors who come to Bursa see his tomb as a monument to the sultan that never was. If Mustafa had lived, the history of the Ottoman Empire could have been different. Unlike other executed princes, Mustafa is remembered with honor and respect by the people. Despite being condemned as a traitor by Suleiman, over time his figure has been vindicated. Many Turks believe that Mustafa would have been a great sultan, and that his execution was a grave mistake. Every year, tourists and historians visit his mausoleo in Bursa to pay him homage. His story has been retold in books, series, and documentaries that narrate his tragic destiny. His tomb is visited not only as a historical site but as a symbol of the prince the people loved. The murder of Mustafa changed the course of the Ottoman Empire and left a legacy of instability. After his death, the empire suffered a succession crisis that weakened the dynasty. His execution provoked the fury of the Janissaries, who felt betrayed by Suleiman. His death opened the way for Selim, Hürrem Sultan's son, to inherit the throne, which many consider the beginning of the Ottoman decline. If Mustafa had been sultan, some believe the empire would have had stronger and more stable leadership. Mustafa's tomb not only marks his death but the beginning of a drastic change in Ottoman history. Many historians believe that if Mustafa had ruled, the Ottoman Empire would have had an era of stability and expansion. He was brave, loved by the people, and respected by the Janissaries, which would have given him a strong foundation for his reign. He possessed a solid military vision, which could have led to new conquests and better administration of the empire. His just and firm character contrasted with the reign of Selim II, who inherited the throne and is remembered for his weakness. The political crisis that followed his execution weakened the Sultan's power and allowed the influence of the harem to grow even more. The history of the Ottoman Empire could have been completely different if Mustafa had lived. Mustafa was not only the victim of a conspiracy but also of his own father's paranoia. Suleiman the Magnificent, blinded by manipulation, made the worst decision of his reign. The Janissaries never forgave his death, and Suleiman's image was tainted by this act. Despite his execution, Mustafa is still remembered as a noble and capable prince. His tomb in Bursa is a reminder of what the Ottoman Empire lost with his murder. He was not a sultan, but his story lives on as one of the greatest tragedies of the Ottoman Empire. Now it is your turn. Do you think Prince Mustafa would have been a better sultan than Selim II? Was Suleiman the Magnificent a victim of manipulation or simply a leader who feared losing power? Leave your opinion in the comments and let's debate this tragic episode of Ottoman history. If you like this video, give it a like and subscribe to Imperium for more content on the most tragic and influential figures of the empire. Activate the notification bell so you don't miss our next episode. See you in the next video. Until next time.